the Down to Earth Network with your host, Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. This episode is about, the person all over the news, all over social media, Jeffrey Epstein, right? So, conspiracy theorists or people on the net been saying, was he part of the CIA or the Mossad, right? So people have all type of speculations, and they've been putting him with Israeli intelligence, right? So there's been that rumor that he's been a CIA agent, and why would that rumor be coming up, right? Why is that rumor coming up? Is because people are digging, and they're digging for something. New Epstein records triggers tension between Netanyahu and Barack. Let's see. Links to Israel. Okay. Because people are talking about this. Jeffrey Epstein rumored Mossad connections. Let's see. Newsweek. Because people are bringing this up. Jeffrey Epstein rumored Mossad connection explained. Claims amplified by conservative commentator Tucker Carlson have shone a spotlight on Israel and its intelligence agency Mossad, amid allegations going back years that ex-Israeli officials were close to and worked with Jeffrey Epstein, the wealthy financier convicted sex offender who died in a jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial on further charges of sex trafficking. Right? People, please subscribe. Why it matters. Carlson remarks come as President Donald Trump and his administration face one of their biggest political battles, a repeated statement made on 2024 campaign trail about exposing the so-called Epstein files, including a client's list alleged in possession of the Attorney General Pam Bondi, has dissipated. The Justice Department recently issued a memo concluding that there's no evidence of a client's list. They said there was no evidence of a client's list. Remember that. Or blackmail materials contradicting the earlier statements. So they did say there's no client list. Now there's a list. Epstein's case and the Trump administration's waffling on the perpetrate the purported files related to the popular figure who's befriended him has become a major issue on conservative circles, sparking newfound conspiracy theories and contain distrust federal institutions. So, yes, there's been that rumor. They said Mossad, he was an agent. People are, backtracking, or he was a CIA agent. That's been out there. How does a guy from being a math teacher at a Dalton school in the late 70s with no college degree have multiple airplanes, private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Carlson said in his Turning Point speech on July 11th. Turning Point speech. So they were against him? I didn't know that. Where did all the money come from? It's true. This guy was just a teacher. And he said no college education? That's kind of weird. Shouldn't he have that to be a teacher? Carlson also questioned the source of Epstein's wealth, more widely speculated to result from his forays into finance and, all types of shit. So I'm going to go into him being a CIA. He made his money gambling. Oh, derivatives. I'm hearing that he actually won the Powerball, right? The accusations that Jeffrey Epstein somehow worked for Israel or the Mossad running a blackmail ring is categorically and totally false, Bennett wrote Monday on X. I don't know who Bennett is. Epstein's conduct, both criminal and merely despicable, had nothing whatsoever to do with the Mossad or the state of Israel. Epstein never worked for the Mossad. Anybody could talk. Anybody could say anything. He continued his accusations. This accusation is a lie being peddled by prominent online personalities such as Tucker Carlson. Oh, he's a personality. Pretending they know things they don't. They just make things up, things up. Say it with confidence, and these lies stick because it's Israel. People hate Israel. People do not like Israel. A lot of people, for some reason, right? Could say it's anti-Semitic. In 2008, when he was prosecuted, if he had been working for Mossad, he would have got off with 2 charges. Yeah, he really didn't serve any time. It was kind of soft, right? Kind of soft. That's why people are, questioning it. And even the CIA stuff people are bringing up. There's vicious wave of slander and lies against my country and my people, and we just won't take it. Who was talking? Is that Netanyahu? Okay. So that's that. And people should question his wealth. Like you said, he got his money from doing all types of business. Brock also met with Epstein monthly for nearly a year, beginning in December 2015, according to the WSJ. In July 2019, the New York Times reported that Barack, then 77, received approximately 2.3 million in payments between 2004 to 2006 from a foundation associated with Epstein. Epstein also invested in a reported 1 million in a limited partnership established by Barack in 2015. It's not Barack Obama, people. Yes, he went to prison, though for a very short time. It's called the sweetheart deal, but even his lawyers said if you work for any intelligence agency, I can get you off, which he probably did, right? He probably did. Shadow Alliance, former National Security Agency counter spy John Schillinger wrote on his top secret Umbra blog in January 24, that Epstein appeared to have been part of a shadowy Israel influence operation characterized as mega, almost close to MAGA, right? Mega. I've been hearing that he is part of an organization of other wealthy people all around the world who was, controlling a lot of money. So it's possibly, you know, he's part of a group, probably, I'm not saying against the government, but they're trying to say that he was, kind of investigating people. That's why a lot of the files, what are coming out, it's not necessarily people. It's like notes and stuff, notes he was making about maybe individuals, right? There's a vulnerable spook joke that you need to move from counterintelligence work when at least once a week you stare at yourself in the mirror while shaving. Oh, God. Financial relationships. Let's go to this financial relationships. In 2021, Rolling Stone story, e- evolving inmate Stephen Hoffenberg, imprisoned for 18 years for committing a 450 million Ponzi scheme, detailed how Hoffman worked with Epstein. I heard his name, with Epstein. Financial sector. Hoffenberg claimed at the time that Epstein moved in intelligence circles. See, when the author of the piece, Vicky Ward, brought up Hoffenberg's relationship to Epstein himself, the former financier reportedly legally threatened her. I heard of Hoffenberg. I heard of Hoffenberg. Not gonna lie. If there's any implications of wrongdoing, I will take a legal action against you personally. I'm telling you so that you understand. Epstein told Ward in an off the record recording made years earlier as part of the Vanity Fair piece and subsequently released the Discovery dossiers, Chasing Ghislaine. I will be I will be as harsh as I possibly can personally, not for the magazine, but you, because I have this discussion with you. The relationships with you, you shouldn't risk your future for your job. Hmm. You see what he's saying? That's like a threat. Alleged Maxwell ties. The BBC documentary House of Maxwell, released in 2022. I should watch that. Alleged that Robert Maxwell, the father, who was very wealthy, of the former socialite and convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell, had claimed that Epstein helped Maxwell hide hundreds of millions he had stolen from his company. So saying they stole that money from, Maxwell's father company pension fund. Robert Maxwell fell off his yacht to his death in 1991. Who got that money? I wonder who, right? In 2020, Hoffmanberg said on an episode of the Broken Seeking Justice podcast, Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell met as early as 1988 through Robert Maxwell. It was one of the first instances claiming that Epstein and Robert Maxwell had business dealings together, although the podcast did not, blah, blah, blah. So, either way, the Mossad rumors, been hearing about the CIA stuff, been hearing about. I'm going to fast forward this to the CIA thing and then go back again. Though Maxwell was a British Israeli, oh, she's Israeli. I didn't really even know that. That's kind of a surprise. Was a British Israeli, gave him a fast state funeral when he died, right? Epstein got the red carpet treatment when visiting Israel, right? Epstein bankrolled major investments in Israel tech, but fine. If Epstein had no ties to Israel intelligence or any other intel service, which is the theoretically possible, why can't Pam Bondi, the CIA, and FBI say that? Okay, it's interesting. This is linked to Maxwell's father, and he was powerful in the media, right? Very powerful in the media. So, what do you guys think of this? Please bring up the likes if you can, and subscribe. Bring up the likes if you can, and subscribe. So, there's a lot of things going on right now, a lot of talk, right? Besides the Epstein stuff, I want to know about the CIA. Epstein and CIA, because I've been hearing about that for years. CIA. They did have a big deal with him. That back in 2028. Ex-CIA spy says Jeffrey Epstein may have been an informant. Maybe after his first time getting charged, he became an informant. That's what I'm thinking. Could be that. What evidence exists of the FBI ties with Epstein? Let's see. What's the ties? Right? Interesting. Maybe he did become, he flipped. Maybe he did flip in a way, what they call, because he wanted his freedom. A former CIA covert intelligence officer has raised the possibility that Jeffrey Epstein may have been a protected informant and raised the possibility that he was murdered. Epstein, a convicted sex offender, was arrested on July 6, 2019 for sex trafficking and later found dead in his prison cell August 10th. His death has since become a big target of speculation. While officials report the state that Epstein died of suicide, doubts have persisted with a doctor who attended his autopsy claiming the financier was strangled rather than hanged. Interesting. Ex-CIA spy Andrew Bustamante, who presents the Everyday Spy podcast, was asked how likely it was that Epstein was a government asset, tasked with gathering intelligence primarily with sex. Bustamante said the scenario was all likely through he excluded the notion that Epstein's mission was explicitly to compromise other via sex. What? Interesting. I don't want to get too much into this, but I will gotta find some real good information about the CIA link and him. Jeffrey Epstein message with former CIA Director Bill Burns files show. Okay, so that's showing. I think that happened after the first charge. After the first charge, he flipped. That's why there's evidence of the government making a deal with him, a controversial deal that he basically got off. He got 13 months, right? And after then, 12 years later, they arrested him. That's what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just letting you know. That's what happened. So, man, let's see what's going on, people. Jeffrey Epstein message with former CIA Director Bill Burns files show. So this is really going on. Spokesperson says Burns deeply regrets ever meeting with Epstein and cut ties after learning of his conviction. A new documents related to convicted sex Offender Jeffrey Epstein revealed several communications with William J. Burns, a career diplomat who would go on to become the Central Intelligence Director under Joe Biden. Ah, that's bad when Joe Biden was around. The documents describe the planning for the meetings between Burns and Epstein, two of which occurred. Damn, that shows guilt. This is what they're digging into. There's millions of files, but this has been out there. And show Epstein texting with Burns and recommending that the other people in his orbit meet with him. The meeting and correspondence occurred after Epstein had pleaded guilty to prostitution and related charges in Florida in 2008, including solicitation of prostitutions with minors under the age of 18. So he was known in circles. He was very influential, right? So I'm not surprised of this. And he knew politicians, so he would talk to them, right? After the 2008 conviction, yes, most evidence points towards him working for most intelligence agencies around the world as an informant. Yes, I believe that. I'm starting to believe that. That's why all these files are coming out. A spokesperson for Burns told that Guardian that the two men had no relationship, okay, all of a sudden. And Burns did not know anything about him other than that he was introduced as an expert in financial services. Listen to that shit. They shouldn't put this out there. He didn't know anything about him other than financial service sector. The spokesperson said Burns deeply regrets ever meeting with him, so he did meet with him. Burns has never been accused of any wrongdoing related to the Epstein crimes. Burns has described, so if you didn't like him, if you you didn't know about his stuff, why would you even have him deal with you with any financial stuff? Burns had decades of diplomatic experience under both Republicans and Democrat administrations. During his confirmation hearing to become CIA director in 2021, I didn't even know that. Even Trump partisan Senate Lindsey Graham called him an outstanding choice. So this guy is the director of the CIA who met with Epstein. It's crazy. You got 18 months? Okay. They keep changing it 13, 18 months. But okay, 13. Okay. Yes, you're right. And there's a big deal they made about it. There's a big deal, but it was quiet then because social media wasn't really that big, right? You all agree? People, bring up the likes if you can. Everybody in the chat, please bring up the likes. It will help in the future for this platform, right? And please subscribe. The first mention of Burns Epstein files dates back to 2013 when Epstein emailed associate Terje Rod Larsen, a former Norwegian diplomat, about a meeting. Let's set the meeting with Bill Burns in Wash or what the fuck they put in it. You can't. There's no context in the email or even a subject heading. Rod Larsen resigned as head of the International Peace Institute in 2020 after revelations that he secured a donation from the foundation related to Epstein, as well as personal loans from the financier. He could not be reached for comment. Everybody's hiding, man. Everybody is hiding. At the time, Burns was a deputy secretary of state and the key negotiator with Iran under then Secretary of State John Kerry. It's getting dirty, man. You know why they don't want to release these files? Too much politicians. Too much politicians. At the time, Burns was a deputy secretary of state and key negotiator. Okay. In July 2013, Epstein sent a similar note to Rod Larsen, apparently following up. I suggest you reach out to Bill Burns and tell him you are there if he needs help. I'll explain on the phone. Okay, this is just the other guy. This is one guy, and it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. Emails, back and forth, right? CIA Director Bill Burns. CIA Director Bill Burns, people. That's why they want to do all this stuff, ICE, about stopping people from talking about stuff, about politicians online, about probably these Epstein stuff, because it falls under the same stuff, right? Jeffrey Epstein was a CIA spy protected by ex-DOJ, right? So this is why they want to stop a lot of Americans from looking up information. That's what they're putting out there, people, especially if you're American. They want to stop your freedom of speech. People, please subscribe. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Bring up the likes if you can, if you're in the chat. Jeffrey Epstein message with former CIA Director Bill Burns. Now, remember that, what I told you. Are they trying to silence us? Yes, they are, man. It's sad. I had an episode yesterday. They really want Americans to not talk. You can't debate. You can't say nothing. That's what they're doing. They're setting that up. They have set it up with intelligence companies to monitor anybody who talks about the government or ICE or probably even the Epstein. This is all because of the Epstein files. The 2 million or 3 million, or it keeps changing, 6 million. It's bad, people. So there is a lot of evidence that Epstein was linked to the CIA. It keeps going. Do you know about the app SA in Nazi Germany? I think our ICE is becoming America's ass. Yeah, it's bad. Freedom of speech is in it. It's gone right now. They're going crazy. They're gonna go to your house if they feel that you're a threat. They're gonna be going to where you live, right? So there's so much evidence, and I believe that Epstein was a CIA or working with the government. It doesn't have to be CIA directly, but he was working with the government in some type of way. Is working with the government. The first time when they caught him, it's like they knew what he was doing. Even Trump was saying that he knew about what he was doing and reported him. And a lot of people knew what he was doing, and they felt guilty of it. And then a parent came out about 2005, and then 2008, I think he was prosecuted, spent about 13 months in, and then 12 years later, here they got him, right? So-called suicide in prison. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. They got him in prison, and then they said he committed suicide. They're linking him to the Mossad because he's Jewish, and even Maxwell's Jewish, and he's been going back and forth from America to Israel to the Middle East to the UK for years, his whole career. That's what he's been doing, financing rich people. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, right? So that's what's been going on. This is very bad. I think it goes much higher in government. Yeah, it's going much higher in government. It's going way higher than government. Yeah, this is an international, if you want to call it, close to the New World Order type of structure or cult, right? Because Epstein Island, they talk about it like it's a cult. People was going there like a cult. People, please subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Bring up the likes, people. If you're in the chat, don't be scared. But what evidence exists of CIA ties to Jeffrey Epstein? It's just rumor. Public reporting shows reoccurring allegations and speculation that Jeffrey Epstein had ties to the U.S. intelligence, but major mainstream documents and reporting released so far do not present direct, verified proof that Epstein was a CIA asset. The clearest detail is that William Burns, which a lot of people don't know about this character, William Burns, right? I was saying, right? Was a CIA asset. Clearest contemporary that William Burns, now CIA director, met Epstein multiple times in 2010. And a CIA spokesman categorized one aim as a career advice congressman released, and all types of drama. But Burns, look him up, right? Mir Amschel Rothschild permit me to issue and control the money of a nation, and I care not to make its laws. Okay? Okay. People, bring up the likes if you can, right? So bring up the likes and I'll read more of your comments if you want to comment, right? Jeffrey Epstein was CIA protected from Justice X DOJ, a former, yes. So he's linked to the Bill Burns. Look up Bill Burns. Guarantee he's probably in the files. Bill Burns, 100%. He's in the files. Epstein's lawyers ask CIA for records that could show affiliation. What? February 8th, Epstein's lawyers asked CIA for records that could show affiliation. So his lawyers are still around doing stuff? I didn't know that. I never knew that, right? I didn't know that. Check this. I didn't know that. So they're asking because they want to probably expose people. People, please bring up the likes. Billionaire cult. That's what it seems like. It seems like over the years, it's like he built his defense like a gang, right? But that's why they're going after all these people with the Epstein files. Question: Epstein put these files out. He had these files because he was probably investigating. That's why I'm going to be straight up saying he was in, if it was his own investigation, if it was helping with the CIA, this is the main thing. He was investigating something. He was keeping records for a reason. Michael Jordan is a billionaire. Yep. A billionaire, soft billionaire, not compared to these guys. But the whole point is he was doing some type of investigation. Just like Diddy, how they're talking about Puffy having records so he could kind of, extort other rich people if anything came up. I think this is similar. He had to do these investigations, feed whatever government source it was, or maybe it's his defense, so that when that certain time comes up, he could be let off. And if he was part of the CIA, his death probably was fake because they can do that. That's what their job is, right? Special agents, they will fake people's death if they can. So why not believe it, right? Why does everything have to be a conspiracy, right? CIA, Diddy, and Epstein. Yeah, a whole bunch more people. See, this is what it is. They're still dog walking these files. They're still dog walking these files. They don't want to really expose too much people because it's too much. Now, let's be honest. If it's 1,000 people, or even if it's 400 people, it's 400 important people. It's 400 important people. You have you have to have a billionaire to hang out. I'm told Epstein is still living. That's people what people are saying that he's in Israel. People bring up the likes if you're in the chat. Please like and comment. Yes, I'm hearing that he's still alive. Is it possible? Maybe. We didn't see his body or anything like that. All they told us that he hanged himself in the prison. We don't know that. Did the family come out and say that he's dead? I didn't see that. Every billionaire tried to summon the devil once. We never heard the family come out say that he passed away. We didn't see any of his friends, if he had friends still, saying that he passed away. We didn't see no funeral for him, right? So what is going on? What are we saying right now? What's really going on, right? So the rumors of him part of the Mossad and CIA could have been part of both, right? Because America and Israel, they say, are both together, right? That's true as fuck. And every billionaire should be sent to meet the devil. Epstein's alive. Could be. I could believe that, right? Indigenous Queen, Charlie Siampa. Oh, he had friends. Yes, he had friends. People are hanging around with him. They're going to his parties. You see it in the pictures. But is he CIA? I believe so. Is he Mossad? It could be both. I believe so. People, bring up the likes if you can. Bring up the likes and please subscribe. Right? Yes, it's possible. Okay. He had bosses. Yes, there's people above the most powerful. He did have bosses. He was fine. He was a financier. He had to go to billionaires to get his money. It's the rich, wealthier who gave him power. It's not him giving people power. People gave him power. Yes, it's strange that his family hasn't said anything. The powerful always protect their own. Yeah, and now you have Ghislaine Maxwell wanting to come out of prison because she knows the dirt. That's why she brought up Trump and she brought up Bill Clinton, basically hoping that she could come out of jail, right? She thought she could come out of jail by bringing up their name and said, I'm only going to talk if I'm free. So that means she knows shit. This is her perfect time to speak her mind. But yo, right now in America, I'm telling you, these are the last days for talking about this stuff. because they're trying to censor everybody in America, right? The ICE, they don't want you guys to talk about or dig anymore around this situation. Is too sensitive to these powerful rich people, right? He literally had every powerful leader elite in his pocket with his decades of terror and trafficking. Ain't no way he just offered himself. He's being protected as always. Yes. Okay, you're so right. So right now they're attacking freedom of speech. They're attacking the freedom of speech. They don't want you guys to talk at all. Everybody, they don't want to talk. I don't know if you guys got that update. Please look it up. What ICE is trying to put out there. The ICE. They're trying to put out there to stop you guys from debating, stop the freedom of speech in America, basically, by punishing you if you talk about the government, if you talk about wealthy people like what we're talking about right now. So, people, bring up the likes if you can, and please subscribe. So, what evidence CIA now? There's a whole bunch of stuff, man. This guy's more alive than when these than ever. Exclusive. Spy Jeffrey Epstein was the perfect access agent for Russia. Russia's denying that too. A sick pedo used sex as a weapon to pass along U.S. secrets. Oh, saying that now this is what they're trying to say. He used, right, his whole ring to get people. That's what they're saying. Poland has launched an investigation because this is worldwide. It's not just America. Just remember that. I'm telling you guys this. Worldwide, not just America. Poland had launched an investigation in Epstein's sordid past after Prime Minister Donald Tusk charged the newest document dump suggests their sex offender actions were co-organized by Russian intelligence services. So now it's Russian intelligence services. Brittany Butler, a former CIA targeting officers with years of experience recruiting spies and dismantling terrorist networks overseas, told Radar Epstein's empire opened doors for espionage. A guy like Jeffrey Epstein that had ongoing access to really sensitive information about people that were really high up there in the government was very vulnerable to a country like Russia, she said, which loves to play the game of using sex as a weapon to get senior policymakers to do what they want. I heard that. I heard that before. And Epstein's private island, where he allegedly provided powerful people with underage girls for sex, made the financier a perfect access agent. He provided this kind of secure environment where senior policymakers, major business figures, with major business figures. But Putin is denying that. He said he wasn't part of this. He never took any calls from Epstein. But look what I'm reading here. He provided the kind of secure environment where senior policymakers, major business figures, they're all able to go to secluded places, private places. You know what? I'm going to bring this up. It kind of makes sense. And these guys showing their true colors. Because why is, what's his name from Mark for Death, Steven Seagal in Russia? I heard Steven Seagal, the only reason he went to Russia because he had a charge of like, doing something to a lady. People, please bring up the likes. Please bring up the likes if you can. But why is Steven Seagal in Russia? And then I seen a picture, I don't know if it was AI, with Andrew Tate. And I'm hearing that Andrew Tate was almost charged for something like this. But he's talking loud and proud right now, Andrew Tate, right? We must get aggressive with our voting habits. We must educate the brown community together. We must connect and join together as people of color. Clarison Lane, you said. But yes, right now, a lot of things is going on. I don't know if you guys know who the Mark for Death actor I'm talking about. But Steven Seagal's in Russia. He's been living in Russia. He's a Russian citizen. And the only reason he's there because he's hiding from America. Is he in the Epstein files? I want to know. For years, Epstein was suspected of being a spy for Israel, but Butler said Russia was more his style. The agent turned author contends it's all about how the two countries approach their foreign policies. Russians play the long game, wait to see, Butler said is true. Countering the Israeli attack a problem head on, they're not afraid to blow up all Hezbollah and stuff. So the reason they're probably connecting Epstein with the Israel stuff because he's Jewish. It's because he's Jewish why they're connecting the whole thing. As Radar revealed, the latest Justice Department documents released shed new light on how federal agents, while raiding Epstein's Manhattan mansion, discovered a locked safe containing a fake Austrian passport bearing his photograph and the name Marius Robert for Tellini, stamped for travel across Europe and the Middle East. Agents also found the 68 million townhouse fitted with sophisticated surveillance equipment, which sources told us was a collection center for S tapes featuring the world's richest and most powerful figures, which Epstein would then pass to his handlers to use as bribery. No one's talking about this stuff. Bribery, material in what one insider told us amounts to one of the world's biggest honey trap spy schemes ever to run in human history. So he was doing a lot of dirty stuff, right? So no one is going to be accountable. Gates said Trump will get out soon, so enjoy because they're coming out of us. What heck? Okay, much respect to that comment. It's rich. It's it's a rich poor thing. Yep. And here today, you're still talking about this. Yeah, yes, still talking about it because it keeps this. It's 3 million files. It's 3 million files. Kala, I don't know how to pronounce your name. It's 3 million files. There's a lot of stories. It's never gonna end. So of course people are going to talk about it. There's new characters. It's like a episode every day. And people, please subscribe, bring up the likes if you can. It's new characters every day. So people are going to be talking about it. New stories every day. Half of these stories people don't know about. They only talk about Epstein and his sex rings and stuff. You don't know about the characters, about the head of the CIA talking with him or in any type of association with Epstein, and that's facts. According to DOJ papers, Epstein contacted Sergei Belakhov, the Russian Deputy Minister of Economic Development, in July 2015. That's after he was charged. Right? In the email, Epstein wrote, I need a favor, before describing a Russian woman he claimed was attempting to blackmail powerful New York businessmen and asking for suggestions. Other emails suggest Epstein believed he had access to Russia's highest circles. So now Russia's in this. Now we're hearing about Russia. Now we're hearing about Russia and emails. All these documents are emails, people. All these documents are emails. So even though you're hearing the information now, for American citizens, not the world, but they're going to take away your freedom of speech, freedom of talking online, freedom of knowing information because of all of this. They want to protect these wealthy people and they don't want to see them get locked up like Epstein. Nothing can be done about it anymore besides accountability. Let your leaders lead on tranquility. Yep, just talk. They're not going to do nothing about it. You're right. So far, I haven't seen any person get locked up. The little people will get it. Russia's man is seriously. Yep. It's all a bit of a show. Yes, it is a show. It's entertainment, but people are scared that they will get locked up. That's what's going on. People are scared that they're going to be locked up in prison. Rich billionaires, they're only talking about these celebrities now. You're only hearing about, and that's a cover up. I think that's a distraction. Jay-Z, Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah, the list goes on. It's all these celebrities they're telling you to entertain you. Meanwhile, it's these real people in government, politicians, businessmen who are not popular, but they're behind the scenes, who run big industries. They're not locking them up. They're not talking about them. It's true. Like, why is it just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell? Why is it only two people? Where are all the people who was helping to do all of this? It wasn't just two people. So it's obviously there's a lot of guilty people out there that should be locked up, right? There's pictures of him with powerful Dubai tycoon replaced after DOJ reveals sexually explicit emails with Epstein. Yes, I've been seeing this picture of this guy, and he has a picture with Epstein, right? He has relationships in the Middle East. So, the story contains descriptions of abuse and references. Okay, now, a tycoon from the United Emirates whose intimate friendship with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was revealed in the latest release of the files. He's probably running scared by now. By the U.S. Justice Department and has been replaced in his post as head of one of the world's largest port operators. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayman emerged as the powerful force in global trade as the former chairman and CEO of Dubai's DP World, which has a footprint in more than 80 countries over the past 3 decades. So I'm not surprised Epstein has a link with this guy. I've been seeing his picture. Sultan Ahmed bin without naming bin Salman, Dubai's government media office announced that Friday that DP World had appointed a new chairman. They ain't playing. They ain't playing. They don't want to be associated with this new chairman of the group, CEO position previously held by bin Sulaim. DP World confirmed the new appointment to CNN. So this is recently. This is recent news, right? New York Mirror, Patel, Bondi, they look scared. Epstein affectionately described bin Sulayman, whose name appears thousands of times in the latest batch, as funny, educated master, and best and trusted friend. So he's probably gonna stay where he is. He might be protected over the Middle East because they are into, marrying young ladies still. Can't lie. The message between Epstein and bin Sulayman revealed in an intimate, years-long friendship re- replete with misogynist descriptions of women and girls, sexually explicit material, business proposals, and references to alleged torture video that has drawn scrutiny in the U.S. Congress. Remember, in the Middle East, they do pay girls from America and all around the world. And this is facts. I'm going to remind you people to come there and they defecate on them and they get money. So, what do you call that? Wouldn't you call that kind of like trafficking? It doesn't have to be young girls necessary. Let's clarify that because Puffy was doing that's what they charged Puffy with. Remember, and in the Middle East, I've been seeing this on social media for a couple of years. Girls are getting paid, women are getting paid to come to the Middle East, certain Middle East countries, and the men, powerful men, piss on them basically, defecate on them, and they get thousands of dollars. I've seen it. It's crazy. It's like a thing, right? So it's coming to the light, a lot of the nasty stuff. On Tuesday, the DOJ unredacted more names in the documents. So this is where I'm getting to. It's possibly he was CIA, right? It's possibly he was working with the Russians. It's possibly he was working with Israel, right? There's so much evidence, like Russia. I think prostitution is legal in Russia. The Middle East, they're soft on women's rights, right? Um, the Israel, a lot of the Weinstein, a lot. Just look on it. I think even Pornhub is run by a Jewish person. Just look it up. Who owns Pornhub? So it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. And that's why Epstein is all in this mix up, right? People, please bring up the likes, and subscribe. Bring up the likes. Yes, possibly he is CIA, right? Because when you look up his case, when he got charged, and I don't need to read anymore about his connections with the CIA and all that. All I have to look up is his first charge. And then it gives you the evidence right there. You guys want to hold on for that? If you don't know his first charge, right? Much respect for subbing and please like all you people in the chat. Bring up the likes, right? You want to know his first charge? Epstein's first charge? Just hold on, people. Epstein's first charge. First charge. Just hold on, people. Please subscribe, right? Hold on to this. Okay. His first charge was 2005 by Palm Beach authorities, receiving complaints about the solicitation of minors. He was indicted in 2006 for solicitation of prostitution, later pleaded guilty to two prostitution-related counts in 2008. That's what happened. Serving a 13-month sentence with work release privileges. See? And it was the government who made a deal with him, right? So they made a deal with him, the government. So they always been in bed with him, right? They always been in bed with Jeffrey Epstein. Solicitation of prostitution. Yep, yep, he's been doing that. Begging for much respect. Yeah, gotta beg for the likes. That's the currency in here, in YouTube, or you don't watch, or I won't sometime even read your comments, right? So this is what's going on. Jeffrey Epstein, I don't want to know about his death. See, they try to cover up his first charges, but I read those first charges, and the government was all in it. The government was all in it, people. Jeffrey Epstein's first charges stem from 2005 investigation. Okay, let's see. That's what I want. That's what I want, because people don't know. They think it was just afterwards. Okay, 20 years after it began. See, Trump's administration has renewed the interest in the case of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein 20 years after it began. So it's Trump who has released this. Okay, I don't want to talk about the conspiracy theories. So this will happen. 2005 March, Florida police investigate Epstein. Palm Beach police began investigating Jeffrey Epstein after the family of a 14-year-old girl reports she had been molested at his mansion. That's what happened. A search of his property finds photos of girls throughout the house. But it was only not too much charges. Multiple underage girls, many of them high school students, would later tell police that Epstein hired them to give sexual massages. Okay. 2006, investigation sent to the grand jury. Florida officials signed paperwork to charge Epstein with multiple counts of unlawful sex with minors. Before the charges can proceed, and he didn't get years for it. Then, the county's top prosecutor, state attorney Barry Kissinger, sends the case to a grand jury. The U.S. grand jury is a group of people who decide whether the prosecutor's evidence provides probable cause to issue a formal charge, which they didn't really charge him. So blame the government. They didn't really charge him. July 2006, Epstein indicated on soliciting prostitution. The grand jury indicates Epstein on a single count of soliciting prostitution. He is arrested. So maybe they made him into an agent afterwards. Let's say that. Maybe that, or it could be before. Maybe he was an agent afterwards. They got him, they made a deal and said, yo, we want you to investigate all these rich people for us. Make notes. The minor charges lead to accusations of special treatment by bribery, claims that are later dismissed of Florida detectives. But he didn't serve years for this. What, you don't get years for doing what he done in the beginning with underage girls? The FBI also starts its investigation at this time. June 2008, Epstein enters a federal plea deal. Epstein pleads guilty to a plea deal. People, please like and subscribe. So check this. June 2008, Epstein enters a federal plea deal. Epstein pleads guilty to the state charges of soliciting prostitution and soliciting prostitution from someone under 18. He didn't get that much time. He's sentenced to 18 months in jail. At this time, the controversial plea deal is made, meaning Epstein avoids federal charges that could have seen him face life in prison. So he made a plea deal with the government, and he didn't go into prison for life because he probably was an agent, right? Probably was an agent. His sentence allowed him to continue work, and he is released on probation after 13 months. So that's what it means. This nasty, disgusting. After his release from jail, Epstein spends almost a decade facing allegations from multiple women who say they are his victims. They took that long? Listen how long that took. That's crazy. He was already charged with something. So he just slipped up, and it took that long to talk about the whole case. July 2009, Epstein is arrested on sex trafficking charges. Epstein is arrested in New York on sex trafficking charges involving allegations that date back to the early 2000s. So they didn't know that before? Didn't they make a deal 2000 and something? He's accused of paying underage girls for massages and molesting them at the home in Florida and New York. Guaranteed he was doing this in the 80s, way before the 2000s. In the 80s, Epstein pleads not guilty to charges against him, but is denied bail. The charges, he probably didn't work good enough for the CIA. Probably didn't do enough for the CIA, right? Epstein pleads not guilty to the charges against him, but is denied bail. The charges are laid after renewed interest in the secret plea deal overseen by the Labor Security for Trump's administration. So he stopped probably working for the CIA. People, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. So he didn't work good enough, right? He didn't do good enough work for the CIA or the Mossad or the Russians. That didn't help him. All his powerful friends, that did not help him, right? July 2020, Ghislaine Maxwell charged. New York prosecutors charged Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate and girlfriend, with scouting girls for Epstein. That was going on before the 2000s. That was going on from the friggin' 90s and the 80s. Previous lawsuits accused Maxwell of being the highest ranking employee in Epstein's trafficking ring. Now, we got to look on the bullshit here. Epstein comes from a power. Maxwell's father was rich, very rich, and he gave Epstein money. So we're saying that Maxwell was an employee for Epstein. It could be the other way around. I think it was the other way around. She comes from a rich, wealthy family, right? He's literally living in Israel. That's what I'm hearing too. December 2021, jurors convict Ghislaine Maxwell. After a month-long trial, Maxwell is convicted of sex trafficking, conspiracy, transportation of minors for illegal sex activities. So what do you guys think about this whole CIA, Mossad conspiracy, if it is a conspiracy, that he was agent for them? It's kind of looking kind of clear. I know the sex stuff and the whole story is overshadowing certain things, but it kind of makes sense. All these emails, all these notes, certain words, what people are putting out there, it sounds like he was taking notes for somebody. It seems like he was taking notes for somebody, right? It's not a conspiracy. He works for them. Yeah, it's not really a conspiracy, right? But they've been telling people that it's a conspiracy. Yeah, it's not a conspiracy. He works for them. You're right. You're right. It's not a conspiracy. He works for them. Works for the CIA, Mossad, America, and Israel. They're together, so it's the same ish, right? Russia, they're accusing him with Russia, right? So 2022, they should go after this guy. February 2022, Andrew, I think that's Prince Andrew, reaches a settlement. A civil settlement is finalized between Prince Andrew and a woman who alleged she was trafficked by Epstein as a royal teenager. And the royal family stripped that guy. Why did they strip him of all his stuff? Virginia Giuffre had allegedly she was trafficked for sex by Epstein to the Duke of York. The Duke repeatedly denied those allegations. But why was he stripped of all his titles? You gotta look on it. They don't even like that guy anymore in the royal family. 2024, the judge unseals Epstein documents. It was January 2024. Judge unseals Epstein documents. Previous secret court documents in Epstein case are unsealed by U.S. judge. The 40-page release mostly consists of material that is already public, though there are mentions of Epstein's friendship with former U.S. President Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew. The documents related to Miss Giuffre's 2015 lawsuit against Epstein was settled in 2017. So he did pay people off. He did pay people off, even those girls. A lot of the girls who say there are victims, a lot of them were paid off. There's more than just a couple, there's a lot of them. June 2024, Trump suggests he declassifies the files. So people, get it clear, even if you want to blame Trump, he's the one who done all of this. Mr. Trump, the government. And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Right? Like, comment, all that good stuff. So where did Jeffrey Epstein get her from? Get her from? Together to print what? To go, I can't. The countries come and go. The super rich have generational wealth. They don't go anywhere. You're right. So it's Trump behind releasing this stuff. I don't know if it's reverse psychology, but that's what it is. During the 2024 campaign, Donald Trump tells Fox News he will consider declassifying the Epstein files quickly, making a caveat that there might be a lot of phony stuff in the files. Hear that? Phony stuff in the files, right? So they're saying there's a lot of phony stuff in the files. What do you guys think, people? Now, February 2025, Pam Bondi says clients list on her desk. The clients list, controversial clients list. February 2025, Pam Bondi says clients list on her desk. Asks if Justice Department will publish Epstein's client list. Attorney General Pam Bondi says it's sitting on my desk right now to review. I remember that, right? The White House later clarifies Miss Bondi had been referring to the documents relating to Epstein's case, not a client's list. So, like I said, it's bigger, like someone said, it's bigger than just normal government. This is global. This is a global thing. Even you got Elon Musk talking about it. Elon Musk is talking about it. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff if you can. You got Elon Musk talking about it. July 7th, right? 2025, Justice Department says it won't make files public. Let me tell you this again. July 7th, 2025, Justice Department says it won't make files public. The U.S. Justice Department says it will not make any more files public for fear of harming victims. So that's the defense. It also says Epstein did not maintain a client list, that there's no evidence of foul play. So all these lists that are out there, they're saying doesn't exist. The government. That's why they want you guys quiet, to take away your freedom of speech. July 17th, 2025, Trump sues after Wall Street Journal story. Amid renewed speculation, the Wall Street Journal reports Epstein received a sexually suggestive letter bearing Mr. Trump's name. So he's suing people, Trump. The letter featured a drawing of a naked woman and the cryptic lines, "May every day be another beautiful secret." The president calls the letter false and malicious and defamatory. Did you guys know that? There's a lot of stuff people don't know, man. A lot of things are going over people's heads. That's why they want to stop the freedom of speech in America. That's why they're talking about ICE looking at all of you. Whatever you say online about ICE or Trump, or talking about things like what I'm talking right now, they don't want it. They want to shut people up. It's a new age, people. It's a new age. It's a new age. July 17th, 2000, Trump sues. Okay, so he sues. July 18th, 2025, Trump's administration asked to unseal the grand jury transcripts. Trump's administration asked a federal court to unseal grand jury transcripts related to Epstein case. It's getting messy, people. And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I was white, I was safe. Are you used to think because I was white, I was safe? I'm sure that it's not my case. I'm as guilty as the brown skin because I too want to be American. All I know in America. I feel sorry. I had to read that comment, people. I see your freedom is being gone. ICE is taking it away. They already have it with TikTok. You have to, the new update with TikTok, you have to give up all your information, your whole identity. So now they want to stop you from talking about the Epstein stuff. They want to stop you from criticizing the government, all types of stuff. July 30th, 2025, Trump says Epstein stole girls from Mar-a-Lago. Miss Guthrie alleged she had been recruited by Maxwell while working at Mar-a-Lago as a high school student, and then Epstein and Maxwell and others sexually abused her from about 1999 to 2002. When I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, Mr. Trump tells reporters in his most expansive Epstein comments yet. He said that he called the police. He called the police or the law enforcement. He told the law enforcement about Epstein. He said that. So even if people think he's guilty, he's trying to cover his ass. When I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, I don't, okay, so it says, so do you guys believe about the CIA stuff? I'm believing it. I have to admit, unless they could prove me wrong, I'm believing this guy was probably not, what happened is they all knew about it, like what Trump was saying. At first, see, there's the real battle between how long was he a CIA agent or Mossad, or was he going back and forth, or did he just start working for the government when he got pinched the first time, and then he had to kind of, pay them back and say, we're going to leave you alone. We're going to leave you alone for a couple years, maybe, or they made it look like they're just going to leave him alone, and then they arrested him, and then they made up this thing that he has the suicide, or he done the suicide. So August 5th, 2025, Maxwell opposes grand jury unsealing because she's in there. Ghislaine Maxwell asked Manhattan judge to deny the Trump administration's request to unseal jury's transcripts. Why? Why? That's why she was charged with perjury. People, please subscribe, like, bring up the likes if you can. Right? That's why she was charged with perjury. Do you guys know that? Her lawyers argued public interest cannot justify a broad intrusion into grand jury's secrecy, and her legal options remain viable. It's done. She's locked up. That's why she wants clemency. It comes as the top U.S. House committee subpoenas Bill and Hillary Clinton. That just happened not too long ago, and they didn't want to go. Let's hear if we're going to see a public hear them talking about it. Top ranking law enforcement officials. Mr. Clinton was among the number of luminaries acquainted with Epstein. He has never been accused of wrongdoing by any Epstein victims. But there's not, remember, Epstein only got charged with basically one or two, not all the 35 or 100, not 200, not 300, not 500 people. He's never been charged with any of that. Just remember that, people. He's never been charged with any of that. And people, please subscribe if you can. So do you think he was working for Mossad, the CIA? This keeps going. When we're talking about files, besides the files, people, look up the information. Just do your own research, right? Do your own research. I encourage you guys, do your own research, because when you do your own research, you find out a lot of stuff. You could put the pieces to the puzzle, all right? Besides all these files, there's documents out there talking about all the people who are associated with this whole story, government officials, right? Rich people. It keeps going and going. It keeps going and going. It has dates. Like, this is like sick. Like, they're going back and forth transcripts. I don't need to even read all of this shit. See, picture Mick Jagger and all. It keeps going. So the whole thing is, was he a spy for the Mossad or CIA? My conclusion, yeah. Yeah, but when? Was he a spy for the Israelis in the 80s, and then later on, or the Russians, and then later on, America knew what he was doing and he was making money, and then they see he was doing all this nasty stuff and they wanted him to work for them? It's that. Maybe he had to change sides. He was working for Israel and Russia, right, before America, and then say, yo, if you could work for Russia, you're working against America. They could lock you up just for that. Maybe even a death sentence if you're working as a spy. He was in big groups finance. He's a financier with billionaires all around the world. So that's the perfect camouflage to be a spy. There's a movie out right now. I forgot the movie of an actor back in the days, right, who was a spy for Israel. So even actors, people who are celebrities, that's a perfect camouflage to travel around the world. People love you, and you could access certain things because you're a celebrity. So imagine a billionaire like this guy. Is it not possible? It's possible. No one ever thinks of a celebrity having two jobs. So if a celebrity could do it, why couldn't someone like this guy do it? Think of it. And people, please like, and subscribe. Some water, right? Bring up the likes and please subscribe. So it could happen. It can happen. He was Mossad asset from the word go. Mike Snyder. Mossad, I believe, how long ago was he a Mossad? It's not recent. It probably was a long time ago, right? And let's be straight up. The elephant's in the room. He's Jewish, right? Not too long ago, there was a group, a sect group, what's in Guatemala, a leader, right? He's from Romania, and he's, I think, Israel citizen. They've been trafficking young people from America, Canada, and I think in South America, and they arrested him in Mexico. But no one's talking about this guy. No one's talking about this guy, right? He's young, but he's been doing a thing. I think his name is Alter or something. But things are coming out. Things are coming out. Things are coming out. It's such a coincidence that they're in South America now, in Venezuela. Didn't they blame the cartels for trafficking? Remember, the cartels were not just trafficking what's called adults. They were trafficking children. That's not it's not just the drugs, remember, right? Even if people don't want to believe the bull crap fully, that just Trump's there for the oil. The point is these cartels were been doing trafficking, still doing trafficking, and they are known for trafficking underage people. So it's all connecting. I'm giving you guys this. It's all connecting. So if he remember now, um, these groups are terrorists now. Trump put them down as terrorist groups. Cartels are terrorist groups now. So even these cartels, probably what's his name was involved with them before you even knew about cartels, before cartels was popularized. Probably this guy was dealing, Epstein was going over to South America as a businessman and doing his spying. He probably was. There's so much evidence putting him as a spy, people. There's a lot of evidence putting him as a spy. And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. There's a lot of evidence putting him out there as a spy, doing spy work. So let's look at that instead of just all these underage. Yes, it's bad what he's done, and all these billionaires, right? Let's talk about him working for governments. And that shows you how guilty the governments are. They're all nasty. Right now, they're doing nasty work in America. They want to shut you up, man. You guys need to go out in the street, start fighting for your rights. Make you a spy. Just being Jewish doesn't make you a spy. You are right, but I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. They what's called stereotype other people. They stereotype black people in other ways. So sorry, it's your turn. They stereotype other people, right? Just because you're not from America, you're an undocumented citizen. Isn't that a stereotype? Just because you are an immigrant, something's wrong with you. Listen, there's so much evidence pointing. Maxwell she's from that culture. She's from that culture, right? Epstein's from that culture. We can't deny a lot of the billionaires are from that culture, right? I just told you Pornhub, the owner of Pornhub, is from that culture. Hollywood, who controls it, and entertainment is from that culture. You want me to continue? No, I'm not a Zionist. I'm a fact. Facts. That's what I am. Facts. I'm facts. That's why I am. No Zionist, no nothing like that. I don't know what Zionist is. Some Europe is far from me. Zionist is far from me, man. Far away from me. Zionist, right? How do I start get download the GE files? The GE files. Get more. Give me a little bit more detail. You said I heard about that. Give me more detail, please. And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Right? Give me more detail of that. GE files. Either way, right? I'm gonna say he is CIA. That's my opinion. I'm gonna say he was with the Mossad, all groups. He wasn't just with one group. That's what made probably the American government angry, because he was with all sides, fooling them. And people, please bring up the likes and subscribe. There's a lot of evidence here. A lot of evidence points to him working with a lot of governments and powerful people. A lot of evidence is here. Can't deny it, right? Can't deny it. Even if you want to try to run away from it, you can't deny it. There's a lot of evidence here. Let me show you guys something, right? I'm going to show you guys something. Take this in. Take this in. I wonder if I still have it. This guy. Look at this guy. Look at this. I'm going to go get a drink. You guys just read this. So what you guys think about that document? That's the guy I was talking about. That's the guy I was talking about. Yep, there's more characters. Probably was dealing with Epstein, right? Down the line, more characters. Not just BBC. This is not just BBC. It's on other places. Not just BBC. Trust me. It's not just BBC, right? So was he working so he could help Israel fight against all of these characters? I think so. I believe so. I believe so. It's not just BBC. It's all types of places. So let me see if I could give you guys anything else here. Right? Elon Musk already took himself out of it. August 5th, 2025, Maxwell opposes grand jury unsealing. Okay, blah, blah, blah. August 14th, 2025, Melania, Trump sues Hunter Biden over defamatory Epstein comments. I didn't even know that. First Lady Melania Trump demands former U.S. President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, and you remember Hunter, remember about Hunter, retract his false, defamatory, and lewd statements he made about her that reference her relationship with Epstein. That's coming out too now. That is coming out saying she had something, some type of relationship. Lawyers of for Miss Trump says if Hunter Biden fails to retract his statements, she will seek more than US $1 billion damages. The threat is related to Hunter Biden's July 21st interview with YouTuber Andrew Callahan, according to the First Lady's lawyer, Alejandro Brito. In the interview, he alleges that Epstein introduces Melania to Trump. Oh, they're saying that he introduced. Well, who cares, man? August 20th, 2025, Justice Department agrees to give files to Congress. The Justice Department agrees to provide documents from Epstein's sex trafficking investigation. Blah, blah, blah. Keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. So there's a lot of information out there, people. A lot of information. This is what they want to lock down from you guys. They want to lock all this away from the American people. People, please like and subscribe. Grizzly's sister is the head of our secretary. You're in UK. In FBI Maxwell, her dad was involved too. They said he was with Mossad. That's where this is all coming from, right? Mm, mm, makes kind of sense. What about the First Lady's personal director for her documentary? He's quite deep in the Epstein files. There's a lot of people. That guy runs America. We are a nation occupied. Been occupied. Either way, even if you don't like even other subjects right now, I don't know if you guys know, but the ICE now is putting out all these things that they don't want Americans to talk about certain things. They're trying to shut all the Americans up. They're trying to silence a lot of you. So you won't be able to talk about things like this. You won't be able to dig up stuff. You won't be able to question what the government is doing or saying. So some big shit's about to explode. Remember, and then you come back to me. Some big events are about to happen, right? It's all of them, us versus them. So right now, I was telling people, I don't know if people are on TikTok. Just look at the TikTok updates. Just look at that. And that's what they want to do to all Americans. They want to take away your freedom of speech. And part of this is because of this Pandora's box, right? The Pandora's box. I'll tell you. That's what it is. It's a busy day, people. But people, please subscribe. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. So, right now, the ICE agents, people, if you're in the chat, look up your freedom. Look up your freedom. What's going on? The ICE is coming after everybody who talks against them, who talks against the government, who talks about all types of shit, right? So be ready for them to knock your door if you still are talking. It's going to affect journalists because Don Lemon, he's one of them, and his case is still going. He's still going through it. It's going to affect journalists for sure. He's one of them, that big guy, Don Lemon, and it's going to affect other people because you got guys like what's his name, Joe Rogan, speaking against Trump, right? Harshly, and he was friends with Trump. So when you have Joe Rogan, the biggest podcaster and a very big influencer, talking against Trump in regards to ICE, because he was the guy doing the campaign big time against ICE recently. I don't know why, because he's friends with Trump. That's a situation. They might lock his ass up, right? Violation of, yes, the amendment, but are anybody going by rules any now? Are people going by the rules? Anybody really going by the rules? I don't think anybody's really going by the rules. I'm just saying. Nobody is really going by the rules. They don't give a damn, right? They could break the rules. Don't you see what Trump's been doing for the last couple of months? He's breaking rules. He's not going by anything. So right now, as I speak, 5 months from now, just look 5 months from now, what's going to happen to your system and freedom of speech. Just look at that. 5 months from now, what's going to happen? 5 months from now, we can't even, well, you guys can't even talk about this. It's mind blowing and shocking to the point you don't want to believe it, but the evidence is in front of everybody. People won't look. Yes, the evidence is everywhere, and it's shocking to everybody. It is shocking and crazy, right? As part of the classified contractor, not because was charged with the crime herself. Okay, yeah, yeah, what's next? I keep saying what's next. And what's next, what came up recently, what's next is the ICE taking away freedom of speech. So even just questioning about all this stuff, what's going on, they will block it out. They're going to block all of this out, all of this talk. They're going to block it out, right? Net son is reporter for the Washington Post. She had, okay, all right. But people, please subscribe. Bring up the likes. Bring up the likes if you can. Right? Bring up the likes. It's a bad thing. It's a bad day. It's too much. It's a Bible of stuff right now. Now let me go to the recent stuff. Right? The recent stuff. 2006, 26, December 30th, 2026, DOJ releases final Epstein documents. Further 3 million documents are made available online as part of DOJ's Epstein disclosures. And I'm hearing about a lot of characters in it, but it doesn't mean they're all part of doing nasty stuff, right? It could just be people, like I said, if he was working for the CIA or any of these organizations, he was part of investigating people. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanchett says that the pages include 2,000 videos, that's a lot, 180,000 images after a review of almost 6 million files. So it's 6 million files. Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process to ensure transparency to the American people, right, and compliance with the act. Mr. Blanchett said at a media conference, Democrat critics the DOJ for the withholdings so many documents and requests access to full unredacted files. So that's what's going on. Don Lemon, but Don Lemon, don't mention the reporter on behalf of Trump. Don Lemon is because he's trying to fight Trump. He's saying freedom of speech, right? I'm talking about Don Lemon because the ICE is targeting anybody who's talking about them badly now. They want to shut that all down. The ICE want to shut it down if you talk about even Trump or any important figures. They're gonna see where your location is. They're gonna look at your social insurance, all types of IDs. They're just gonna take away your freedom of access to debating or questioning anything online. That's what they're going to do. We are the people, the millions of people across the world, really going to allow a few to dictate us? Well, that's how it is. It's been like that for a long time, right? A few dictate a lot, right? A few are dictating a lot. 100%. 100%. I'm going to go get a drink. You guys stay if you want. Yep. So, people, please like, subscribe, bring up the likes if you can. We're on Apple Podcasts, Down to Earth Network, and we're on Spotify Podcasts. Yeah, man. Um, Working for the CIA? Yes. Maybe afterwards. It doesn't have to be from the beginning, but he probably knew a lot of important people from the 80s, 90s, and on. He knew a lot of, as I told you, Bill Burns, the head of the CIA once. I don't know if he's still the head of the CIA, but he had some type of relationship with him, right? So, him doing other government work probably brought the attention to the American government, right? You're working for other governments. Of course, your own government's going to be questioning you 100%, because if you're doing certain things, it could be against the American laws, right? How long did it take for you to finally reach that conclusion? I knew about it a long time. I'm just telling you, people. I'm giving extra information what a lot of people didn't know. There's a lot of stuff I just brought out. I know even other places on social media, they're not talking about it, right? What Trump, okay. Lady said on the stand work there's not okay about 1992. So he's been working for several different organizations. That's what I'm saying. Several different organizations Mr. Epstein's been working for all around the world. They have him linked to Europe, right? Of course, America, the Middle East, and now Russia. Now Russia, right? And they all got some links, right? Because in Russia, I think prostitution is legal, right? Prostitution is legal. And in the Middle East, like I told you, in recent times, it wasn't social media before that ladies are getting paid or women are getting paid to come over there and these wealthy men defecate on them, right? They go to the washroom on them, either on their chest or their face. That's what's going on. So what do you call that? If you're paying somebody to fly, that's what they charge Puffy with. They charge Puffy with that, right? Prostitution and trafficking. So is that not trafficking if you're paying American women and European women to fly to the Middle East and they defecate on them? Maybe they didn't do any sexual stuff to them. I don't know. But isn't that a form of prostitution? Isn't that a form of prostitution? Let me know, right? Let me know, because that's what's going on. You could Google it right now. And people in the Middle East, certain whatever the kings and stuff, they've been defecating on women. They pay them thousands of dollars so they could put doo doo in their mouth and pee all over them. And Epstein is friends with a lot of these guys from those places. So he's been getting some ideas from a long time, or maybe he's been giving them some ideas. It could be that. And in Russia, like I said, prostitution is legal. Let me look that up, because I swear I've been hearing that. I don't know if that's true fully, but I heard prostitution is legal. They look on it differently, right? And now Putin is saying no, he had nothing to do with Epstein. Yeah, but in America, your freedom's going to be gone. It's going to be gone for freedom of speech, unless you guys fight ICE, or they're going to cover it up a certain way, right? They might cover it up. They might cover it up. They don't want you guys to speak. Prostitution is illegal. Okay, let me correct myself. See how the lie says prostitution is illegal in Russia with penalties including fines ranging from, okay, so it is illegal. Like America. I swear it was legal. I swear I heard it was legal. Right? Prostitution, sex abuse, and rape in Russia. Facts and details. Russian women and children were reported to be victims of sex trafficking. So I guess they're lax on the sex trafficking. I correct myself. They are lax on sex trafficking. They don't really, really care about that down there. Prostitution in Russia. Prostitution in Russia is often called what? I don't know the name, how they say it. Accessible young ladies. In the communist era, prostitution officially did not exist. It became visible in Gorbachev years and then took off after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Prostitution is now common, particularly in St. Petersburg, a large port city close to Western Europe. In the early 90s, prostitutes were uncommon sight in St. Petersburg. So blah, blah, blah. I'm not reading that, but they're soft on trafficking, right? Legalization prostitution in Russia. Under Russian law, prostitutes that are arrested can only be fined $10. Many of those who are caught are booked and fined and back on the street in a matter of hours. So they're soft on it, like I was saying. I don't even need to read. They're soft on prostitution. I was wrong first. They're soft. It's kind of almost the same because it's only $10 fine. In America, it's more. So they're soft on the prostitution in Russia, right? There has been some discussion of legalization prostitution as a way of combating organized crime, AIDS, and venereal disease under proposals suggested in St. Petersburg. So they want to probably legalize it. They've been talking about it, right? They've been talking about it. So they are soft. And that's why they kind of came up with the Epstein files recently in regards to Russia, because they're saying he had dealings with Russia, right? That's what's going on, people. People, please like, subscribe. That's what's going on. So is Epstein a CIA? My conclusion, he probably worked with them, or he had to kind of do something with them, right? We got him on something, right? 2006, right? They got him on something. So he could be working for the Mossad before that, and probably the Russians before that. And America got him back for working with them, right? Because they're looking at him as a spy, making money all around the world, and he's not getting taxed. All his money's not getting taxed by the American government, right? So they could look on that this guy is kind of slick, right? Making all this money all around the world, and the government of America is not seeing it. That's another thing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Right? People, please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't do that. So they're looking at that right now. Looking at that really a lot. So there's other people. I'm going to show you guys this if you don't know. I done this episode yesterday, and this is why your freedom of speech is threatened. Right? ICE put this out there. They put this out there. They want you guys to shut up in America. They don't want you to talk. Right? And that's out there. That's really out there. It's nothing I made up. This is out there. ICE, if go get the updates, man. Go get the updates. Go get the updates of what they're talking about. They feel threatened, ICE, right now. They feel really threatened. Right? People saying that they should have cameras on them and stuff. So if you're gonna put cameras on these guys, they're fighting back, saying they want to take away your freedom. If you want to take away our freedom from doing our job, we're going to take away your freedom of expression online and debate. That's what they're saying, right? So ICE new rules, and they're following Russia too. Russia just banned all social media basically. So America is following Russia, right? This is real. It's not no fake shit. This is real. They're following Russia's way right now. ICE. So this is why I'm going to update you guys. The U.S. Immigration Custom Enforcement ICE has recently expanded its surveillance capabilities on social media platforms. This includes monitoring social media accounts of immigrants and travelers entering the United States utilizing AI software for surveillance. But it's not just them. And collecting data at nearly every stage on immigration process. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, has issued directives to ICE, allowing them to monitor social media activity for visa applicants and other immigration related. But it's not just immigrants. They're talking about, let me get this, they're talking about everybody. They're making some Americans who don't know better think it's just for immigrants. No, that's the biggest camouflage. ICE can access your social media. Here's what to know. Okay, so here's what to know. This is what they're up to, right? ICE can access your social media. Here's what to know. The federal agencies are working to expand social media surveillance as part of the Trump administration efforts. Borderless magazine spoke. Experts explain what information the government is monitoring and how to protect your identity. They're already doing it with TikTok, right? President Donald Trump's administration is monitoring social media accounts of whatever immigrants. That's a whole cover up, man. I swear they even took that off from announcing it just 2 days ago. Why? Okay, let's get out of this one. This one's bullshit. Okay. But I had the episode yesterday. I just done it. So I caught them already. Homeland Security has reportedly sent out hundreds of subpoenas. Okay, this is what it is. I got it for you people. Now your freedom of speech is gone in America. Always watching, ICE plans to monitor social media 24/7, threatens privacy and civic participation. When most people think about immigration enforcement, they picture border crossing and airport checkpoints. But the new front line may be your social media feed. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has published requests for information for private sector contractors to launch a round-the-clock social media monitoring program. The request states that the private contractors will be paid to comb through Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram, VK, Flickr, MySpace, X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, WhatsApp, YouTube, etc., turning public posts into enforcement leads that feed directly to ICE's database. The request for information reads like something out of a cyber thriller. Dozens of analysts work with shifts, strict deadlines measured in minutes to tirade system of preparing high-risk individuals and the latest software keeping constant watch. So that's just a little bit. So all this other stuff with Epstein, they're coming for you. Can't talk about the government anymore. It's over now. It's over now. Right? It's over now. It's a nice day today, people. It's over. If you're American, it's going to go to other places because UK, they already done it. They've been arresting people in the UK. They've been locking up people in UK for talking against the government, right? They put out the digital ID, but people went out in the streets and they fought against it and they stopped it. So Americans need to go out and start fighting for this the same way UK was doing it. If you guys are so proud to be American, go out in the streets and fight against this because it's going to be coming more than ever. It happened in the UK. They've been locking people up in the UK for social media posts and stuff like that. They're claiming that it's for dangerous individuals and all types of excuses. They're going after people. So now it's coming to America. It's going to be coming to everywhere too. Maybe other countries might fight it a little bit differently. UK people, they fought the digital ID. Right now, they got the digital ID with TikTok. I just told you guys that yesterday. They got you guys already with the digital ID with TikTok. If you use TikTok, right? If you use TikTok, they got you. They got everything about you if you use TikTok. Your freedom is out the door. They already know who you are. They know who everybody is, but they fully have monitored you on the TikTok, right? Remember that, what I told you, people. And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. What's next? More New World Order tactics, or NWO tactics, right? That's why I say when Trump is talking about he wants to take over all these countries, when you see the ICE out there in the street, it's a big distraction. And now you see this whole thing with the Epstein stuff, another little bit of distraction. Meanwhile, they're making laws that they could hunt you down if you are talking against the government. Sounds kind of like communists, right? Epstein had a house in my block away from the Vatican. Oh, that's another thing. Glad he brought that up. See, this is a big hypocrite stuff. This is very big hypocritical because for years they're talking about the Vatican and the cardinals or the popes that they're involved in dealing with underage children. Now you don't hear about it anymore. I just got to say that. Now we don't talk about that anymore. I just got to say that, right? What happened with Rome? What happened with the Vatican? What happened with the cardinals? Silent. But we're talking about Epstein. The list goes on, right? So, like I said, if freedom is gone, freedom of speech doesn't exist in America. 100%, right? That is thrown out the door. But people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. So, at the end of the day, my conclusion is Mr. Epstein was working with some type of government. 100%. He got off soft the first time for doing something really bad. He should have served life. I read that earlier. He should have been in prison for life. But he made a deal with the government and came and he after he served his 18 months or whatever for years after that, right? After 2008, right? How much years? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. How much years? 11 years. It took 11 years for them to rearrest him on charges. 11 years. They tried to hide this and say, hopefully people forget and don't want to hear about no Epstein stuff. People, please like, and subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. So it took 11 years for them to bring this all up. It's sad, people. Very sad that it took that long. Took that long. And now you have this big circus of people talking about celebrities. And some of these celebrities are recent. They weren't even known in the 90s. Some of these celebrities they didn't have nothing in the 90s. Now they're talking about Jay-Z. Even in the early 2000s, Jay-Z wasn't even a billionaire. How did he get into this conversation? Right? They're talking about all these other people, celebrities. That's a big confusion. Big confusion. So my thing is this. If these celebrities are involved, this is my twist. This is my conspiracy. If they were involved like Epstein, is it possibly some of these celebrities were CIA too? Some of these celebrities, what they're talking about, are really agents too? I'm just putting it out there. Is it possible some of these agents, I mean, celebrities are agents? They travel around the world internationally. It's a perfect 007 cover to be a celebrity. It makes you wonder how certain people become successful and rich. It makes you wonder because there is the conspiracy of people being made into celebrities called plants, right? So, is it possible some of these people, what are coming up in the Epstein files, coincidentally, celebrities are no different than Epstein, meaning that they are spies? Because even Jay-Z, if we want to bring Jay-Z up, he did stab someone back in the day, and he came out of jail real quick, and now he was a drug dealer, a big time drug dealer, and look what he's doing right now. Just saying. I'm just saying, right? Even Puffy done a lot of dirt, and look how successful he became, right? So he went out of line and they caught him. But people, please subscribe, right? This is deep dive into Epstein. Them one hit wonders pop with wouldn't comply quietly, went quietly for the money. Well, a lot of things is going on right now, man. A lot of things is going on. More characters again. Every day there's a new character. Every day there's new people being mentioned. And sometimes you can't believe everything, because I believe sometimes when they're bringing up people, it's just to camouflage certain things, right? It's to camouflage certain things. We cannot be fooled. But right now, they're going to lock it down in America. From they announced it about 2 days ago what they want to do, um, and in the next couple months, right? So, what accountability looks like: transparency starts with the public disclosure of algorithms and scoring systems ICE uses. Advocacy groups such as the American Civil Liberties Union argue that the law enforcement agencies should meet the same warrant standards online that they do in physical spaces. Brendan Brennan Center for Justice and the ACLU argue that they should be independent oversight of surveillance systems for accuracy and bias. And the several U.S. senators have introduced legislation to limit bulk purchases from data brokers. You see all this crap what's going on, this politics, how they do want to take away your freedom of speech, and these politicians are like talking because some of them are probably guilty with this dirt with Epstein, right? They want to search for all the people who's talking, right? They want to search for everybody who's talking. Freedom of speech is finished in America, and all because of this Pandora's box opening. The only reason a lot of your freedom is at risk because the Epstein files, Pandora's box has opened, and it's gonna keep. Well, I don't know if they're gonna keep opening it or they're gonna lock it up because they don't want certain people to be locked up. Certain powerful people. Pam Bondi said it. He says if we expose all the people on these files, the system will be shooken up, basically. They can't do that. That's what she's been saying. But people, please like and subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Bring it up, right? We're on Apple Podcasts. If you listen to podcasts, we're on the Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify Podcasts. You could check out the Down to Earth Network. I upload episodes every week now and stuff. So you could hear this at work, in your car, all types of stuff, right? So, yeah, the powers that be turned on one of their own. That's what I think. He was a puppet for them, right? He was their pimp. He's the billionaire pimp. He's the billion trillionaire pimp, Mr. Epstein, and a spy. He flipped. He flipped, and he was working both sides, I think. He was working with America, working with Israel, which is almost the same. Israel, and then he was working with, they're saying Russia. The Russian, Putin is saying is no, no, no. He's saying no, they weren't with that, right? Putin is denying all of the association. Putin is saying no, he wasn't involved. His government has never been involved with Epstein, and Epstein may have had emails towards him, but he never, replied back. That's the story. That is the story. People, bring up the likes if you can, and please subscribe. Yeah, he's saying that he wasn't a part of it, Mr. Putin. Not a part of any dirt. Everybody's going to say they weren't a part of it. Everybody wants to not be associated with it. Even the CIA director, Bill Burns, right? I guarantee he's not the CIA director anymore. Everybody stepped down who's associated with Epstein. When you bring up their name, they step down. Powerful people, not no small people. It's powerful people. It's us versus them. Yeah, and they're taking away your freedom of speech. So people, go out in the street if you're American and go fight for your rights for freedom of speech right now, right? Bill Burns, fight for your rights, for your freedom of speech. Fight for your rights because they're taking it away. Yeah, all power belongs to the Most High. You're right, 100%. Bill Burns, Bill Burns' 30th anniversary. I mean, CIA. Yeah, yeah, yeah. CIA director. CIA, CIA, really deadly, man. See, they put his name right next to it soon as I Google it. Jeffrey Epstein messages former CIA director Bill Burns. Files show. So he's been talking with government people. Why? Why would he be sending messages to the former CIA guy? Why would he be doing that if he doesn't have any type of dealings with the American government and he's just a criminal, a nasty pedophile? He has something. Instead, they give them fighting for this. Yeah, he's been doing stuff. CIA Director Bill Burns on China, the Trump transition, and what's. So, is he still the director? I wonder. And if he is, that's crazy. That's crazy. This is the CIA director, people. CIA China transition. What's next? This is not too long ago. This is not too long ago. This article with him talking about China and Trump. So, is he still the director? Yeah. People, please like and subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Is he still the director? That's what I want to know. Very controversial, man. Now, see, that's why they're connecting him. That's why there's these conspiracies, if you want to call it a conspiracy, that Epstein was working for CIA and Mossad, right? He's the former, so he's not. He's the former. I forget what I read. He's the former, so he's no longer the head of the CIA. When did he retire? That's what I want to know, right? 2014. Bill Burns retired from the U.S. Foreign Service in 2014. Okay, 2013 and 14. So he made sure he dropped out about that time, way before anything else came up. More stuff came up. Doesn't look good, people. But people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Right? This is the Down to Earth Network with your host, Sean Myrie, and I'm out.